Absolutely. So
Okay.
the way I conceptualize social media, and I do this with students, with parents, with professionals, whoever I am working with, whether it's an individual one-on-one or a group of
Yeah.
500 that I'm speaking to, is say, well, one of my hobbies is woodwork, and I like to build things. And so I asked the audience or the individual, like, what's a common tool that you would think of? And they usually get it right away, a hammer. Okay,
Hmm.
well, let's take that hammer and let's conceptualize social media that way.
Hmm.
Social media is a hammer, and I can use that hammer to destroy something.
Mhm.
So engage in like cyberbullying, upward comparison, where I walk away feeling worse about myself,
Mhm.
or a whole host of other really negative things. Alternatively, I could take that same hammer, social media, and use that as a tool for connection, to build bridges to other people, to access information that would be important for my personal growth and development, or something that I'm interested in, or something that I want to learn more about. So inherently, I don't believe social media to be good or bad. What I think is important is how am I wielding that hammer? Am I creating
Mm.
or destroying? So the upward comparisons, for instance, that would be a tool of destruction because I am not initiating that. Now, if I go in and I say intentionally, I want to look at people that have been where I am, but are now in a different spot, like they have improved from where I am, then I'm
Mhm.
intentional with it. Where we get in trouble is that unintended or unintentional engagement with social media. So one of my
Mm.
favorite questions to ask people is for anything is, well, what's your why?
Mhm.
And so if I'm going on there and finding individuals that are bigger public speakers than I am, or better athletes than I am, or a better surfer than I am, because I want to see how they got from where they were to where they are so that I could emulate that. That's
Mhm.
very different than me passively just consuming upward comparison where I'm going to feel worse about myself. So intent, what's my why, is how we make a determination of, is this healthy or is this unhealthy?
That is extremely interesting. When you say intent and what's my why, are you talking about that in sort of like the sense of almost at the extreme would be like transcendent purpose? Or do you mean specifically like before I get on Twitter, I have like an idea of what I want?
Both, actually.
Hmm.
So this is probably ruffle some feathers, but sometimes I'll hear people say, just go with the flow of life. And I'm like, no, no, don't do that.
Yeah.
Because how could I end up where I want to be if I haven't spent any time reflecting on where it is that I want to be?
Yeah.
Or even if I know where I want to be, but then I just go with the flow, then
Yeah.
don't take steps directly associated with trying to get me from where I am to where I want to be. What are the odds that I'm going to end up where I want to be?
Mhm.
So it's like when I go on Twitter, for instance, to take your example, like, why am I on there? And most of the time when I ask people, it usually boils down to some iteration of, well, I'm just killing time, or like I find it funny. It's like, okay, that's fine. I don't really love the idea of just killing time because I'm focused so much on intent and purpose in my day to day as well as in my life overall.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, from a transcendence perspective, more of, if I'm on there, what is it that I'm putting out into this world?
Mhm. Mhm.
Am I perpetuating something? And if I am, is it a positive message or a negative message?
Yeah.
It just depends on what's my intent. How am I going to wield that hammer? Build or destroy?